as strength athletes, we often only think about the main lifts and trying to build up as much weight in those as we can. However, accessories are literally the building blocks for those main lifts. So today, I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing on my 2 secondary days to be able to build up my lifts using accessories and why they matter. Even though it's a light squat day, we are running our full stiffs because this is all about repetition as we get closer to the competition. I don't have a ton of experience in wearing these sleeves. It's important to just get the reps in with these sleeves. So the weight that we're actually lifting today by no means is warranting the use of stiff sleeves, but practice makes perfect. So first off, we have banded squats. The goal is to use a resistance band to increase the resistance on the concentric portion, which is the portion where we're squatting up on the squat. The idea behind that is that we are sort of overloading the quads, enabling more stimulation here, and the goal is speed. So we are at one plate 135 pounds, and we are not going to go higher than that weight. We have 8 sets of doubles, and this is more so just a stimulation movement and to really just get an understanding of unracking, the walkout, hitting depth properly with the sleeves on and everything like that. This is just repetition. And one of the things that we probably often neglect because our sets are a lot lower. So maybe you're doing 3 sets of 5 or you're doing a 4x4 or something like that. We have 8 sets or 10 sets. The advantage there is that we get far more repetitions of the movement than that we would if it was a normal lifting program. And so then this helps out a lot because muscle memory is key for when you step onto the stage. There's no time to really figure out what you have to do at that point in time. It needs to be muscle memory. And so this really helps with that. So one thing I really like about this movement is that as my legs warm up, I start to get a better feeling of specifically what stance is getting me the fastest squat. And this has helped me significantly because it's not something that I can really test out on my heavy squat day because things just have to be dialed in at this point. So it's very nice to have, you know, a ton of repetitions here where I can sort of mess around with my stance and then say, okay, cool. At this specific width, I'm really feeling good, and maybe a little bit wider feels a little bit slower, and so then I know when I go to my heavy day, I want a slightly narrower stance. And so last week I made that adjustment and we had good success in our squat day on the heavy day, and so this is continuing to reinforce that. And so again, accessories are king. So this is where we start training more like an actual athlete. So we're working on explosive box jumps, but with this specific variant, we're stepping off of a higher surface. And as soon as we get to the ground, we're looking to explode as quickly as possible. So one of the really important aspects when it comes to pressing exercises like your dip, like a squat, for example, is the speed in which you're able to switch from the eccentric into the concentric motion of that movement. So I want to be able to shift from going down to going up and exploding as quickly as I possibly can. And so working on these under a little bit of extra pressure, which is going to be that gravity and the weight that when you hit the ground, you're now exploding with force as much as you possibly can to jump onto the box. So that's helping with being able to switch very quickly and also with explosion in the leg. So this is a good one. Next movement on the list is the drop lunge, and to be honest, this is just the most brutal exercise known to man. I don't even, like as an accessory, I don't even know what it works besides like testing your will to live, but you know what? If it works, it works. So we are starting from a raised surface. We're gonna have the barbell on our back, and then we are gonna drop into the lunge and then come back. And then this gets progressively harder, obviously, as you get more tired because we have a greater height that we need to reach for our base session. Let's just get it over with, man. Jeez. I feel like I've regressed in this movement. Last week it was way easier to balance on these drop lunges, but this week it is just beating me up. So be it. Just gonna make sure we don't get injured because obviously we can't afford an injury at this point in time. And so just gonna take things easy, get it over with. We're gonna keep moving. All right, now moving on to something that makes me question my existence a little bit less. This is the hinge sit up, and obviously core strength in general is super important, especially for squats, because we're trying to not get folded. So decline here, and from here we are pressing up over our head like that. So let's load up some weight, keep going. I don't know if I said that accessory days were a quote-unquote easy day, but if I did, I take that back. There's definitely a significant difference in between stimulus that you get on an accessory day versus a heavy lift day. Obviously on the heavy lift day, we're pushing a ton of weight. You need to get mentally right, your CNS needs to be there. Accessory days, man, they just drain on you from the time when they start to when they end. And so it's just a long, drawn-out process. And so you just have to be able to mentally persevere and not get injured, I guess, as well, huh? We got one more movement to do. We're gonna make sure that we finish strong, stay with it until the very end. This is where we win. You might think your main lift days are where you win, but truly, lifts are built with accessories. Remember that I said that for future reference. And remind me if I'm ever slacking off on my accessory lifts. I'm telling you, this bag could be sturdier. All right, so one thing that I can say, strength shot bag, if you're thinking of buying it, don't buy it yet. Wait until they come out with the V2. I don't think it's up to spec as yet. Anyways, next movement that we are doing our favorite, which we have here, and that is incline back extensions. And these are excellent for building overall strength in the posterior chain. It's definitely going to get the hamstrings firing as well as build up your squat. And so these are solid. We're pushing some weight in this today. This, while it's painful, it's manageable pain. After just that warm-up set, I already feel the hamstrings firing, so we know it's good. So we got snatch grip. It's gonna help to get some lat activation in there as well. All right, this is 115. Let's make this actual set one. Five, I believe this is. All right, I'm lazy. I'm not walking across the gym to get more weights. We got the 10s here, so we'll go up 20 pounds. 165, that might be a PR. All right, last set, let's make this fly. This, I'm telling you, is a building block to that 500 squat. There we go. That will give me a little bit more of a challenge. We like that. That is a wrap for day 1 of 2 of my accessory days, and so I will see you all on Thursday. All right, another day to put in that work. So we are on day number 3. This is the second accessory day that we have. I'm gonna take you through what we're doing. We're starting out with muscle ups today, and then we have some dips, and I'll show you the specific variations and the reasons why we're doing that. Before that, I wanna get into the motivation that we have today. So what I wanna leave with you all is perfect is the enemy of good. So it is so common for us to have these big, grandiose ideas that we want to accomplish in our lives, and then we say that, oh, but I need to be able to do this first. This needs to be perfect, blah, blah, blah. Everything needs to be set up for you to be able to get there. There's never going to be a perfect time for you to get started towards your goals. The perfect time to get started towards your goals was yesterday, and the next best time is today. So if you got something that you're working on, just get started. It doesn't matter if you're not ready, because you're going to have to do it before you're ready to actually make it there. So let's get started with this workout. We got work to do. This is the final heavy week of training, and we got to make sure these accessories count. So let's get it. So muscle ups are our main lift, obviously, and the accessory that we're doing specifically today is more or less an EMOM. We have a total of 6 sets of about 1 to 2 reps, and the idea behind this is we just want to get more touches. So the more often that we're actually setting up, we're entering into the muscle up, is the more familiar the movement's going to be with us. The name of the game is that on competition day, we don't want to have to be thinking about form, we just want to be able to execute. And so the point here is just repetition, repetition, repetition. Start with 5 pounds, goals, keep things easy. One thing that I'm trying to do here is I want to get a lot more consistent with having very solid placement of the weight plates on my feet. For muscle ups, we want to make sure that the bar isn't going to move. As a matter of fact, I was debating on experimenting with some placements. Let's see if I can figure something out here. We want the plate to have a tendency to remain this way. Huh, now it shouldn't turn at all. Yeah, that's sick. All right, that's really cool. The weight's not gonna turn, so this might have actually solved my concern. Look at that, a little bit of engineering in the morning. And this is exactly why we have accessory days, because we get to experiment with things that we wouldn't want to touch on our heavier days. This is our second speed variation for the day. What we have here are speed dips, and we are adding a resistance on the concentric portion. A little bit of progressive overload going on there. And so I like to go double plate on the band so that it doesn't move, because we're using a purple band, which is fairly heavy. It might be the heaviest one I have, to be honest. Strap it to the belt, and then we got sets of doubles. I think we might be doing like 6 sets of doubles, and goal is just good explosion. I want to work on maintaining as clean form as I possibly can. Again, accessory day, now's the time to really dial in that form. And I'll watch that rep back. I want to make sure that the weight path is as vertical as possible, because that makes our dip as efficient as possible. And so with this, goal is just really a little bit of trial and error, and really just getting more touches, as I was just saying about muscle ups just now as well. More touches we get, better off we'll be. Here we go. All right, so next up we have Larson press. And this is going to be ideal for helping to isolate our chest, take the legs out of the equation. I need another 45. Let's see what we got today. For the top set of the Larson press, let's see if we can go 235 today. We only need to get 4 reps, so we can make it. All we got to do is send it. There we go. Last movement of the day, we got some heavy rows, and we've been graduating to some of the big boy weights. So we're starting with 90 pounds. We got 2 sets in total. I'm gonna see if I can hit a PR today. We hit 110, I think, or so last week. We hit 120 last week. I might have to go higher. Let's see what we got.
30 was a fun little time. We probably could have gone higher. Anyways, memory card's about to fill up. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are just a couple days away from competing, and you know the goal. We're going in for a big win. So stay tuned. Thank you for your support so far. See you in the next video.